Hey everyone, it's Ish here with Growing in OKC. Welcome to another episode. Today's episode is going to be focusing all on potatoes, and we're going to be doing a potato harvest as well, so you can see how I planted them versus how they grew, and if there's any difference between mounding or planting with straw and a lasagna method. And I'm going to show you all the different ways that I planted my potatoes and my potato harvest. So stick around for this episode and let's talk about some spuds. Alright, so this part of the bed, what I did was I laid down in a lasagna style method a thick layer of straw or hay, and then I let it grow up till it was about this big, and then I mounded all this soil because I planted it down in a trough, and I'll show you a picture of that real quick. It down in a trough and then let the plants grow up through it. So using something with some tongs, I'm going to try to pull potatoes up, and we'll see just kind of how much of a potato harvest we got here. Woo! We got one very good sized red skin potato. Get all the way down. Doesn't look like this looks like a purple potato. Must be from one of the next plants, actually. Yep, purple potatoes are next. And getting some nice sized little baby purple potatoes. As I'm pulling the potatoes, what I'm doing is using the tongs and pulling from the top to try to get all of the potatoes in one swoop. Look at that! That one's going to be another little seed potato someday. We're going to break the potatoes away and put them into this jasmine rice bag to protect them from the sun. Because when potatoes are left out in the sun for too long, what ends up happening is they'll start to turn green and develop and become toxic. So you don't want to leave your potatoes out for too long. Okay, so you can see here the lasagna method is not very effective, at least it wasn't for me. Laying the potato down on the dirt and putting straw over it and then a little more dirt. What it did was got really good strong root growth, but I don't know why it didn't seem to put on many potatoes. I got really good foliage growth on top, and obviously my water was really consistent. I use a drip irrigation where it gets plenty of water, but not a lot of potato growth from the lasagna method. I've been averaging, and this is kind of the exception, not the rule, but I've been averaging one potato per plant so far using that method. So on this last potato, we seem to have gotten some success. There are a couple of different variables here that you all may want to try in your garden. I planted around this potato patch. I'd read that planting onions around your potato can help with growth. And as you can see, there are little onions planted all the way around this potato. One of the other key variables that I did, and this is probably more indicative of why there's so much growth, is I started from one whole small seed potato. The seed potato only had 1 to 2 eyes on it, and so I just started with that whole potato. And as you can see, I've got substantial amounts of potatoes from this one seed potato. So might give that a try. This seems to be a really heavy producer. You can see all the straw still down in here as well, so maybe the straw is not as big a variable, or I don't know, but very interesting. See if there's anything else down here. Okay, so these potatoes were all done much differently. What I did was I dug each little potato piece its own hole, about 4 or 5 inches deep. Put the potato piece down in there, eye side up of course, and then covered with 1 inch of dirt. And then once the potato was poking its head up out of the hole, so it had grown about 4 inches, I then cut it back and refilled the hole with dirt. And you can see I'm getting a much greater harvest from this method of potatoes than just doing a big trough and doing the lasagna method in layers. So definitely when you plant your potatoes, you want to plant them into holes and then cover them with soil and then cut them back and mound them back up again. Much better potato harvest. Alright everyone, so that's it for this episode of Growing in OKC. Just as a kind of follow-up and addendum to this video, overall in 27 square feet, which is what I planted of potatoes, I ended up yielding 7.2 pounds of various potatoes. I planted 3 varieties: the Yukon Gold type variety, the red skin potato, and a royal purple variety of potato. The hole method, where I then mounded it up, did the best. And remember, there was that one outlier where I planted it around onions that also seemed to do really well as well. So all told, 7 pounds of organic potatoes is probably $20 to $25 worth of potatoes. And since I only spent $5 on the seed potato, I think I came out pretty good. It's not a real great producer, but 7 pounds of potatoes will be more than enough for my wife and I to eat for the next month. So that's it for this episode of Growing in OKC. Good luck to you, and I wish you all the best of luck in growing your own potatoes in Oklahoma City or wherever you're at in the world.